But within 2 weeks of moving in, the kids started coughing. The parents had constant migraines. They thought it was just the new house smell. It was the perfect kitchen, high-end cabinets, a waterfall island, 6-burner gas range, and everything a young family dreamed of. They thought it was just stress of the move, but they were wrong. They were not living in a dream home. They were living inside a poisoned investment. Welcome back to the Home Buying Files. I'm Karishma, a South Carolina nurse and realtor. Tonight, we open file number 003. This isn't about bad paint colors. This is about the toxic flip, where developers cover up environmental hazards to protect. This isn't about bad paint colors. This is about the toxic flip, where developers cover up environmental hazards to protect their profit margins. In 2024 and 2025, we've seen a massive spike in homes hitting the market that were previously meth labs or had a massive mold infestation. Now, you might think, I would know if a house smelled like a meth lab. Or I probably would have seen this on the news if this home used to be a meth lab. But really wouldn't. When meth is cooked or even just smoked heavily inside a house, the chemical residue soaks into the drywall, the insulation, and even the HVAC ducts. It doesn't have an odor. Once it dries, it's invisible. A flipper buys these houses at a deep discount at a foreclosure auction. They don't call a remediation team. That costs $30,000. But instead, they buy $500 worth of high-strength ceiling primer. They paint every wall. They lay new carpet. They install those beautiful quartz counters. And on the surface, honey, it's a 10 out of 10. But the toxins are still there. They're trapped. And behind the paint lies the poison that the family never seen. The moment you turn on the heater in the winter, those chemicals are released into the air your family is breathing. The same thing happens with black mold. In the South Carolina humidity, mold is our constant enemy. If a house had a major pipe burst or a flooded basement, the studs behind the walls become breeding grounds. And a lipstick flipper won't rip up that wet drywall. They'll just spray it with bleach, let it dry, and cover it with shiplap. They aren't fixing the leak, but they are sabotaging your health for a quick penny. Here is the legal nightmare in many states, including South Carolina. If a flipper buys a house as is at an auction, they could claim they had no knowledge of the previous history. If they don't know about the mold, they don't have to disclose it to you. And by the time your kids get sick, the LLC that flipped the house has already been dissolved and there is no one left to sue. You cannot smell your way out of this problem. You have to test your way out of it. Here is your file 003 safety protocol. Step 1, the air quality test. A standard home inspection is a visual check. If they don't see mold, they don't report it. You must request an air spore test. It costs about $300, just depending on the inspector you hire, but an inspector takes air samples from inside and outside the house. If the mold count is higher inside than outside, the house is hiding a secret. Step 2, the meth swab. This sounds extreme, but it's common in real estate. For $50, you can buy a DIY meth residue swab kit. Swipe it along the top of the kitchen cabinets, swipe it on the walls, swipe it inside the HVAC vents, and if that swab turns blue, you walk away, period. Step 3, check the history. Ask your agent to check the CLUE clue report. It's a history of insurance claims against the house. If you see a massive water damage claim from 3 years ago, but the house shows no water damage and it looks pristine, ask for a remediation certificate. If there is no certificate, there is still mold. Your home should be your sanctuary, not a biohazard. Pretty paint can hide ugly truths. Don't let the new house smell distract you from what matters. Subscribe now for file number 004, where we break down the pig butchering wire fraud that is emptying escrow accounts across the United States. I'll see you at the next closing.